I guess the only way I can really explain what I plan to do on here is if I show how we got in this position to begin with. 2019 started off strong. My best friend moved close. I started dating another one of my best friends of 17 years. I had a whole bunch of projects on the go. Things were looking really good. I rebranded the store. I should be working, but instead, this is what I'm doing. We have so much to do. We're like working full time. Then the onslaught started. I guess it first started when I was going at it with the vet that hurt Caesar, but then there was a guy who ran a red light and hit me, causing issues with my brain, my rib, and whatnot, and then led into all the issues that happen with the dogs.
She's got a very degenerative back.
Via got diagnosed with 7 herniated discs in her lower spine, which thankfully I've been able to control with massage and exercise. Then Caesar went into kidney failure after a toxic insult to the kidneys. We spent 6 days in emergency. Right here on the floor next to him, so he's not alone. He's, they've been really good with us and all that he's been through. So I couldn't be happier. We'll manage to get him through that and all his levels back to normal. And then he developed a malignant oral melanoma right in the canine that was left dead from trauma from the vet. Just a couple months after that, Via started popping up with mast cell tumors. So overall, she's undergone 3 surgeries, and she's been a trooper, but it's at the point where I'm not gonna put her through anymore. It's just not fair. Meanwhile, in the background, with all of that going on, addiction unknowingly got brought into my home, which I didn't know. And for those that have dealt with addiction of a loved one, that's tough on its own. Then Via got attacked by a dog pretty bad, punctured her 9 times, broke his collar, actually going after a chihuahua, but happened to redirect on us. In November, I noticed something was growing in Caesar's mouth again, and then December, I ended up in close contact with somebody whose family had COVID, which had me extremely sick, and of course, baby boy was there throughout all of the fever, chills, vomiting, doing everything he could to try to help me. I never ended up getting tested just because I was pretty much tied to my washroom and obviously broke out with a little rash. On December 23rd, Via started getting super sick, almost like my symptoms, where she threw up 7 times within an hour and had a bunch of diarrhea. So my ex actually came to get her to take her to the vet since I was unable, just due to the contact and sickness and everything. Then Christmas Eve, it was just Caesar and I, as Via was still with her dad, and he started cycling into cluster seizures. He always had stress-induced seizures, but these were different. It was like I could get him out of the one, but he would then cycle back into another one, and everything in me knew, like, especially after a certain point, we weren't going to make it through this. We did bring him into the vet. By this point, he'd been seizing on and off 2 to 3 hours. This is me on the other side of the window since I couldn't be in. And it reached the point where I had to try to make the best decision for Caesar.
He is my baby. I know some people are never gonna understand. They're gonna just say like, "Oh, he's a dog," but to me, he wasn't. Yesterday, I just miss him. But tomorrow tomorrow I need to wake up. I need to do 100 sit-ups. I need to do 100 squats. I need to do these frog glute bridges I've been doing, and at least 50 push-ups. Push-ups aren't really my thing. I don't like them. But at least 50 push-ups. And that's what I need to do. That's my goal. One step. Because I know the endorphins will help make me feel better. And if I start feeling better, I'll start thinking more clearly. And this is how you self-reinforce yourself.
You know what I love about dogs? No matter what kind of ugliness is going on in the world at any given moment, they'll always provide you with just a moment of nothing but love.
I love you.
I try to find projects because I think doing good feels good. So we did a run for masks to raise money for this charity called Family Promise, which was going to go directly to low-income families that would be the ones hurt the most by the pandemic. When I was at my lowest and I wanted nobody around, my friends didn't let that happen. They stepped up for me. Like this girl finding a hazmat suit on Christmas Day just to come so I wasn't alone. To check on Via, check on me. I mean, there were people that let me down, that I didn't expect to let me down. But there were so many that stepped up. And that has been, I guess, the greatest turning point for me in all of this was even when I just wanted to mope and be miserable and be sad and sulk, they didn't let me. And it really started to highlight my good days and my bad days. And my bad days would be where I would forget to eat and forget to drink water. And I started noticing Via would do the same thing that I did. So if I didn't eat or drink, she wasn't eating or drinking. So I knew I had to change something. So I embraced my friendships. I called on everyone. I had to swallow my pride and say, I'm not okay. And thankfully, I have a circle of amazing, amazing people around me that helped remind me to smile, to remind me of happiness. So my best advice for you, for any of you that are facing any kind of loss, whoever it is, call on your people, because that is where strength is. That's support. You have to be able to sometimes say, I need help, and then allow people to step in and actually help you and be there for you. And also for Via, because I know she missed Caesar. I know it was lonely. She wasn't used to being an only dog, so we tried to incorporate more play dates because I wanted her to feel that same sense of companionship and friendship. My best friend is crazy. I'm so blessed to have this woman in my life. Honestly, I can't even begin to describe. So how do you reinforce happiness? Well, first you have to find it. Play, work on training, anything. Especially with Via, I thought mental stimulation and my attention isn't going to be a bad thing.
Ice. Yes? Yes? Do you want this? Yes? Eyes on me? Yes? I'll take it. I'll take it. Yes? Good girl. Do you want this? Eyes? Yes? Good girl.
I'm going to work on more tutorials for you guys if you're so inclined to learn. But really, it's just stages, and you have to shape the behavior and start expecting bigger things, expand the vocabulary, so on and so forth. A lot of these are posted, if not on here, they are, most of them were made for TikTok, but it's just a process, and all you can do is just have fun with it.
Get him! Good girl, make him giggle. Good girl, make him giggle.
Now, although I have decided not to undergo radiation with Via, that doesn't mean that I'm the type to give up. So we've been playing around a lot with supplements and diet in order to find something to keep her histamine levels lower. Self-care for me began with just organizing, cleaning, getting rid of like all the excess stuff I've accumulated, getting rid of all the just junk and refocusing my diet and my goals. I did a detox called The Natural Detox by Nikki Heaton, and that actually really kickstarted a lot for me. Okay, sir, let's do this. I had people all around like the world doing sit-ups with me just because I needed the accountability, and the more I spoke to people, like the better I started feeling, and the more I started talking to people, everybody was going through something, whether it was the economic impact the pandemic has had on them or whatever. Nobody felt their best. I mean, I'm ashamed to admit it, but between the car accident, the sick dogs, the pandemic, everything, I hit 180 pounds by the end of it all. When Caesar passed, I was 180 pounds. I'm 5'3". I can't handle that kind of weight. And thankfully, my friends, all of us, it's just been this journey of let's get back to where we loved ourselves, where we felt strong, where we felt healthy. And let's do it together because it's a lot more fun that way. The thing I love about the gym is it's such an easy hack. Not only are you going to feel better because of the endorphins, but you sleep better, which helps you feel better. Then when you start getting the results that you like, you're just happier. Call on your people. Don't be alone. My mom and I even started playing online bingo 4 days a week.
We didn't win shit.
Please, yeah.
For me, I really had to set a boundary of not focusing on who wasn't there or who let me down, but highlighting and cherishing the people that were there for me. In that same breath, although, I mean, I have a different reality because I have these pages that if I'm not addicted, I'm very emotionally tied to them and the people associated with them. So it's find that balance of celebrate Caesar, but celebrate Via too. Focus on that. Give her all my attention and all the love that she needs because I don't want her giving up. You know, if there's some fight, if we have a hope to live our best lives or live another sick couple years, let's do the former, you know? Brief intermission to show off my beautiful goddaughter.
Most beautiful.
It's gonna be good. We have the little pieces of happiness always. It's like crazy how easy it is to fall into that habit of just thinking about everything that's wrong. And start seeing the good. Stop focusing on the bad and the scary and that sort of thing. This is like part of the journey is we have to manifest this too. We have to put this into existence. So we need to put energy behind it, right?
I have to flip that with myself, like that pessimistic way of looking at things all the time.
I don't want that, but then when I really think about it, and it's like, what makes me happy? I spent 21 years in one of 5 relationships. 21 fucking years.
And I can honestly say that the happiest moments of my life have been when I'm single. The very few times that I am, it's been when I'm single. As long as it's like I have like that banter and someone to like flirt with and like that excitement, I'm good. But in terms of like a relationship, honestly, my experience is like it just stresses me out.
But at the same time, you haven't had a very good relationship. Touche. But compared to the people you have been with,
Not traveling because Caesar couldn't handle it. Like he would give me 3 to 4 days, and then he wasn't eating, he wasn't sleeping. He would literally just sit at the door and wait for me.
I know. But
My poor mom.
But
She
then
had
you learned
everything.
that that's how you came home. So then you just kept repeating that negativity.
Of course, it's weird. Wait a minute, didn't I Caesar anything? My soul.
He's now sitting by the door. I come home early. He really just had you wrapped around his little finger.
He knew it too.
Oh yeah.
He totally
He was like, that's my mama. She's my best friend. Mama, you said come home. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. No. I poop, Mom.
I know. I'm sorry. I love you.
What was I gonna say?
Masterpiece, y'all. The artist. Ugly face right now. Caesar was my world. I loved him more than anything. And don't get me wrong, like I had a lot of love in my life. I was with someone for 11 years and they knew they came after Caesar, and it wasn't meant to be in a disrespectful way. It was just, that was my baby. So, I mean, it hurts. I was just crying, just because I miss him so much. But I hear so many people say, like, I can't even look at a picture of my dog. And I don't ever want to sit here and say I avoid him. I always want to love him and feel that love and cherish that. So that's what I do. And when I have a really bad day, you know, get up, go for a walk, do some exercises, go to the gym, whatever I can to get my endorphins going. And I choose it. I choose strength. I choose not to break. But that also means that I often avoid people who always want to talk about how sad it is, or always want to talk about dying pets. Like, this isn't going to serve me. I try to keep my head in a positive space. And if I have a day where I want to break, I want that to be true to me, and not because someone like forced it upon me.
So, this is my journey back to happiness. And I've decided to share it because, number one, it's kind of what I'm going through right now. And number two, I think all of us need more of that. And despite what society tells us about social isolation, it's not good for us. It's not healthy.
Do you want it a bite?
And I
Want
hope that
another one?
you always
Do you want the cheese?
call on your
Want the
friends.
cheese? The cheese? You can show her. Show her or not. Show her. There you go, good girl.
Giving me these.
Now you have to work for it, Via.
Yeah, do you want some more?
She did it.
So, then you got.
I do this for you, Bubba's. I love you.
He's always been a big old baby.
He's a lot smilier now, but I think it's just because his face is meatier. You have a meaty face. I love you, boo boo. You know that? Do you know how much I love you? And they're both done with me. They are done with this video. Until next time, I love y'all. Thank you for being a part of this with me.